In the metals quadrant, taking a look at the May copper futures contract, which rebounded from a two-day sell-off and is now higher 2 of the last 3 sessions, but it's really not much of a move. On the bright side, the two-day rally seemed to be a continuation of the up over 6.6% move that we got in copper since about February 9th. Since the close on February 26th, copper is up almost 0.7% and seems to be holding support, but of course that can change. On the high today, 86.85 was up 0.7%, and on the low, 83.40 was down just short of 0.2%. And like I said, it wasn't much. We finished up about 0.1%. The first China PMI figures are due since the latest round of stimulus by the People's Bank of China, the PBOC. China's central bank cut the reserve requirement ratio for all banks by 50 basis points in late February, releasing about 1 trillion Chinese yuan into the market. But the PMI figures that we're getting tonight are February figures, so there may be no effect in those figures yet. Some analysts are, however, expecting an upside surprise. Currently, the expectations for February PMI for China are slightly lower on the manufacturing side, but still in contraction of 49.1, slightly higher on the non-manufacturing side, still slightly into expansion at 50.8. Why are we talking about this? Because China is still the largest smelter and purchaser of copper. So if they get their economy going, it could be a tailwind for copper. Also, looking at the dollar, which has typically an inverse relationship to copper, it is stronger today, but yields, which also typically has an inverse relationship to copper, are lower, and copper seems to be ignoring the dollar and reacting more to yields. And this is likely due to the weaker PCE, at least weaker than expected, PCE numbers that we got here in the US, supporting possibly some rate cuts in the future, and the much weaker German inflation data that we got, which certainly supports an ECB rate cut. So there's a differential as you see the euro lower by about 1/3% against the dollar. So the copper is reacting to the upside to yields, but again, not by that much.